All right, guys. Thank you for joining me tonight. How does it sound? Dan Phillips already put 5x5. I guess he heard the background noise. All right. So, where do we begin? You know what, man? I don't. I'm starting to think that all of this shit is starting to become overkill. Thank you. Thank you, Karen, Christian. Christian, thank you for that email, by the way. Cat Lady, Mr. Landfill, Jason, Jeep Girl. Hello, Kathy, Bob, Renee. If I said that right. Thank you for that. Cauldron, if I'm saying that right. Thank you for that. Amanda, Faye, and WTC. All right, guys. So, good evening, or good evening, or good night, however you want to say it. So, like I was saying, I think all of this overdrive and all the shit that's going on, it's on purpose. I mean, like we know it's on purpose, but I think they're trying to burn us out. I think that's the route they're going, because there's so much shit going on. It's unfucking real. I mean, everything from like lawmakers passing bullshit laws to the possible threat of a third world war. Uh, I don't know, an AI attack or AI attacking our social system or computer system, rather. Sorry, internet attack. You have viruses that computer viruses. Sorry, that they're looking to that they're thinking they're going to unleash. I'm more worried about the AI virus now. Now, I came up with that. I hadn't read it anywhere. I'm pretty sure there are articles on it, but just the other day I was thinking about the ultimate virus, the AI virus. This virus is perfect in every way because you can't get rid of it. It can infect every system and never be cured. So you would have to come up with a whole new system. And I think that the AI system would be the AI virus would be like the perfect virus, meaning if you hook up to any internet, the computer's going to get infected, right? Sort of like Ebola for computers or Mossberg for computers, right? But anyway, with that, all of the shit that's going on, I mean, they're throwing so much shit at us and they're trying to wear us down. I think that's the plan. And to a point, guys, they wear us down to a point where we're just like, fuck it. And then, whatever happens, happens. So again, like I said, I think that's the goal. But as far as the unthinkable will happen, there's a lot, guys. There's a lot of things that can happen. There's a lot of unthinkables that can happen. And that's what the point of the show is that we have to look at the bigger picture. And we have to look at all of it. So again, why I mentioned them trying to burn us out, the big picture, guys, is like looking at a map, like the United States. Let's just start with the United States map. We're looking at this map, and you got all of this shit happening all over the map. Then you zoom out even more, and then you're looking at the entire globe, and you got all this shit happening all over the world. And now you're looking at that, and you're trying to process all of this shit that's going on. But what are we missing, right? Are we paying attention to all this shit that they're giving to us, and not paying attention to the things that could happen? Or are happening in the conspiracy theory realm, but haven't come to fruition yet, right? So with that, guys, there's a lot to look at, and there's so much. Um, where do we start? You know, we have the next pandemic nightmare on the way. That's undoubtedly going to unfold. I just think that the next one to happen is going to be real. It's not going to be some bullshit they passed down to us for the last couple of years, like Mr. 19. I think what comes next, it's going to be really bad. Um, my theory, conspiracy theory, is that it's going to infect kids, and it's going to be bad when it infects kids. It's not going to be some shit that like like a cold or strep or some shit like that. It's going to be bad. Like meningitis times 1,000 bad. And it only infects kids. I think that's going to be the next one. I mentioned this in my live stream Tuesday night, but I got to think about it a little more. I'm like, what better way to get people on board than to harm the kids, right? Um, Dan Phillips, yeah, you got the CBDC that's coming around the pipe. And here's the thing with the CBDC, guys. Tonight on the Angry Truth channel, I am going to talk about Fed Now being used, whether you're going to be using Fed Now, whether you like it or not. So I came upon some information on how it's going to affect us, and how we're going to be using it, while most of us might not know that we're using it. But nonetheless, it's going to do something that, um, yeah, wait till the Angry Truth channel tonight, and I'll talk about it a little more. But that's something that I didn't think was going to happen. I knew that they were going to force us at some point in time to use FedNow, but the way they're going to start using it, it's a little surprising. But then it's not once you hear about it. So again, Angry Truth at 10:10 tonight or 10:05, depending on what time I started. We're going to talk about how everyone's going to be forced to use FedNow. So, Mary says, "Stock the fuck up." Yeah. Kevin Grip, thank you for the donation. Appreciate it. But yeah, so anyway, guys, with that, just a lot of shit that's going to be going down over the next couple of years, and it's going to be the next couple of years. It's going to extend into our kids' adulthood. So I don't now sitting back and looking at the master plan, looking at what World Economic Forum's doing. It's not supposed to be a plan that they hatch and everything happens at once. It's not supposed to work that way. It's supposed to take decades for them to unfold it. The problem is we are paying attention. Now, interestingly enough, I come across two guys. Shit, man. I looked up one guy today. Let's see if I could still pull it up. I looked up one guy today, and it led me down a rabbit hole of other guys that nope, nope, nope. Ted Gunderson. For those of you that don't know, Ted Gunderson was an ex FBI agent out of Los Angeles. He was his name is Theodore Gunderson. He worked for the FBI, and he was a special agent in charge of the Los Angeles office. Anyway, he had made a couple of statements and winded up. They thought he died mysteriously, but I looked at his age. He died pretty old. But some people think he was assassinated. And he talked about he was an investigator, sorry, for Marilyn Monroe's death, which I found interesting that they had the FBI in charge of Marilyn Monroe's death when they told us it was like drug overdose or some shit like that. At least that's what I remember, unless I'm wrong. Then he was also he was not in charge, but helped out with the assassination of JFK. So he did in an interview. I think the interview was in the 90s or the 80s. He talked about an elite group of people that are running things and keeping things in check. And he said it was a small group of people. Anyway, with that, the rabbit hole goes down after Ted Gunderson. They bring up John DeCamp, another guy who was also sort of like a whistleblower on the shit that was going on. Now, again, these guys were 90s, 80s, maybe even 70s dudes that were making these claims. So clearly, guys, the stuff that they made mention of back then, we're seeing it now. Now, all of the stuff that we're hip to, our kids are going to see it. So it's going to take time. Like I said, they can't unfold this thing like that on us because we're definitely going to push back. I wish we would start pushing back already. There is so many things that we could be pushing back on, right? Us, for example, boycotting Bud Light when we should be boycotting paying our taxes. That's the kind of shit we should be doing. Bud Light, granted, like I said in my last live stream, it's good. They're feeling the heat. We want the government to feel the heat. We have to start boycotting at a grand scale, guys. And when I mean boycott, I'm talking about not paying our taxes and all kinds of shit. And people are like, well, you might go to jail. They can't lock us all up, man. They can't. They can hit us with fines and all those other bullshit, but there are a lot of ways that we can not pay taxes and still live off grid without them breaking our balls. Again, and that's the thing, guys. Chris says we're up against a satanic force. That's the thing. We're up against a satanic force. However you want to look at it, guys, we're definitely up against something evil. That's without a doubt. The more I look at things that are going on, the more I see these celebrities in these or not celebrities, but musicians and concert like Beyonce and them with these satanic ritualist concerts. Something is up. And again, you do not have to be religious. Hell, you can even be atheist, and you're looking at it and going, "This isn't right," and you know something is wrong. You can't tell me that for all the demonic shit that's going on, that we can't avoid it anymore. Again, you could be as agnostic or atheist as you want. You can't avoid what is in front of us. It's unreal that we're seeing, for example, homeless vets on the street. We have vets who are suffering from psychological issues, and yet they rather run and start programs for the transgender community so that they can house them and feed them and give them psychological help or mental help. Trap Squad, no, but I did hear Kevin Bacon mention something about that. That drag queens, it's an artistry, and they should be able to perform their art and all kinds of shit. So I did see that, but yeah, Kevin Bacon definitely fell off. And here's the problem, guys: when you're part of a demonic cult, you'll back anything up. You will back anything up. That's the problem. When you start looking at Christians and saying how bad we are, yes, guys, anything that humans touch will turn to shit. It's undoubtable. The Roman Church, for example, or rather the Pope and his gang, um, there's too many of them. So there's too many people to regulate. There's too many people to regulate, and then they should be passing harsh fines on them instead of fucking like corralling them. Like, listen, if I was the Pope and you were abusing kids, I'd be like off with his dick in the public square. We'd have a dick chopping contest in a public square if I was the Pope. So that other priests would, at the very least, be like, all right, I'm not going to do this. I don't want to lose my dick. You know? But instead, the church fell victim to, I guess, evil behavior by telling these people, we'll just move you to another church and we'll protect you here in Oklahoma, in the middle of nowhere. Right? So again, guys, anything, and the same goes for any religion. Any religion. It doesn't have to be Catholic, guys. It could be Muslims and Jews. They're doing the same shit. No one's talking about it. But the Muslim dudes are fucking touching little boys' asses, and fucking Jews are banging little girls. They're all of these religions, guys, are doing the same exact shit. Christianity is just a flavor of the month because they want Christianity out. We are a Christian-based country. Yes, we do have other religions here as well, but we're a Christian-based country, and that's what they're going to attack. And once they attack Christianity, they're going to move on to Judaism, and they're going to move on to Muslims. Jews and Muslims are next. They don't realize it. They're trying to lie in the cut and stay low and be like, all right, they're not going to focus on us. Let them focus on the white Christians. These motherfuckers are next, man. They don't realize it. It's why all religions need to band together. I don't listen. The crazy thing about religions is that they all believe in the same thing: God. Whatever you call it, it's still God. You still believe in this one being that's in charge of us all, and we should submit to Him, right? But in some reason or another, that division started early, and that division probably started because of the evil plan. Division is part of everything, guys. There's division of religion, there's division of race. Hell, even amongst race, there's division. You got white folks who are like, Irish people are better than Italians, Italian people are better than Irish. You got that bullshit going on. You got black folks fucking, being divisive with one another. I'm from the East Coast, I'm from the West Coast, and they're throwing up fucking signs. You got all of this division, guys. And the one thing that the elites who've been around for centuries, I might add, this elite shit that we know, the World Economic Forum, these people, they've been around for centuries. Sorry, centuries they've been around. They know over centuries, they've watched revolutions happen because people band together. They had a commonality. Here in the United States, other countries around the world, the slave revolt, all of that. They saw people banding together and were like, nope, let's create a division. They create this division, and now look where we are. And this division keeps getting worse. There's division amongst right-wing people. There's division now amongst left-leaning people. Divisions everywhere. And the crazy thing is, we see this, and yet we still fall for it. So the country's not going to get better until we recognize division and stop falling for the bullshit. And the thing is, guys, when you stop falling for division and you come up with your own plan, then you're considered a cult. So, again, man, they're going to keep doing this shit, and they're going to keep dividing us, and they're going to keep rocking with their shit. And meanwhile, guys, they're not divided. They're standing strong. Right? So again, um, if they can stand strong because they all believe in the same shit, they all believe in the same goal. We as Americans have the same goal in mind. That's to put this country back together again. That's the only fucking path we should be taking. And not about who's in charge and what militia is going to run this, what militia is going to run that. That doesn't matter. None of that matters, because if they keep dividing us, it truly won't matter. Anyway, with that, guys, as far as the unthinkable happening, like I was mentioning before, we also have starvation in this country, which I think we're definitely going to see. I don't know when. I would have thought we would have started seeing something around this year, next year, but I don't know anymore. I don't know. They keep moving the goalposts. They keep changing their fucking mind as to how they're going to attack us. So we'll see starvation in this country. I just don't know when. This is why we stay prepared, so that we don't end up like those people, right? We don't end up starving to death, because this country, I mean, listen, guys, they're destroying our food production slowly. They're destroying it slow enough that the masses are not waking up to it and go, oh, it happens every year. So be it. So be it. And Paul posts that I made the live stream. I'm excited. Well, thank you for being excited. This is called a shit show night, and I'm not drinking tonight. So anybody's asking, is it going to get crazy? It's going to get crazy on its own. I don't need to get, I don't need to have anything on board to get fucking crazy. Blue Steel, man, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. That's the thing, Blue Steel. The economy will hit the fan. The problem is they're going to tank the economy when they're ready to tank it. Because by now, we should have been in a full-blown depression. We should have been in a full-blown depression probably about 2 years ago, maybe 3. But here we are. No, I don't need alcohol. I just drink a little the bourbon cream because it just tastes good. But anyway, and Mr. Nobody, banks are crashing right now. But again, I'm going to talk about something on the Angry Truth tonight that's going to make sense why banks are crashing and why things are happening. And that has to do with the Fed now. And people are, you're not going to like it. You're just not going to like it. So unless we go back to cash, what they're stating right now is that Fed now is just a payment system. Again, I'll get into it in a little bit. No. And yes, Daryl, I'm going to have water in a little bit. Of course, it's way the fuck on the other side, but I'll have water in a little bit. Mr. Nobody. So again, what's going on with banks? It's pretty tricky. It's a tricky thing, and it's something that they're not going to let the public know unless you ask. So if the public doesn't ask, they're not going to tell you. But again, we'll get into that in a little bit. The prepping artist, what's going on? Thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you. Get out of your banks. Yeah, well, getting out of your banks and all that stuff, it's good now. It'll last us a while if we got out of it. And Northern Girl Hobby said digital is being pushed huge here. Well, yeah, I heard something about the Canadian president. A couple of things that he was implementing, I think this week or last week. I forgot what it was, but I remember thinking, fuck, we're next. That's all I remember thinking, Jesus was a prophet, not a god. I guess he's talking to somebody else, not me. I just cashed the payroll. But, well, again, Joel, I'm gonna talk about the CBDC and all that shit in the Angry Truth tonight, because yeah, it ain't looking good. But I think we still got a couple of years before they fully implement it, and we got a couple of years to plan. So that's the other thing. That's the good thing. The only good thing is we got a couple of years to plan. The shit's not gonna fall apart in July. We got time. Now, if the market does crash in July, coincidentally, if it does, then yes, then things are going to get hairy. Financially, it's going to get hairy, is what I mean. Unemployment rate, guys. Unemployment rate is going to skyrocket It's going to reach an all-time high. We're going to see some interesting shit with unemployment, being that a lot of people are losing their jobs because of AI, or will be losing their jobs because of AI. So, with the astronomically high unemployment rate, something we have never seen before, because we do have more people than we did in 1929, um, crime is going to skyrocket, and all types of crime is going to skyrocket, all of it. So maybe you can keep your job because you work a job where you're allowed to keep it because you're like a city worker, or maybe you're a doctor or lawyer or something like that. You're right. But crime is going to be so bad, you're going to be forced to move out of your neighborhood or the city. You're going to have to live in a rural area or live around like minded people to stand guard because it's going to get that out of control. You're going to see the sex industry explode with the amount of sex slave trade that's going to be going on when you have an astronomically high unemployment rate. The market at that point is definitely going to tank. People are definitely going to be jobless, and then people are going to be homeless. So again, with AI is going to destroy a lot of shit. Yes, tent city is definitely going to be a thing. Remember, there was a tent city in Central Park during the Depression. They had a tent city there, and there was a tent city somewhere else in the city. I know it was Central Park. I want to say there might have been one in the Bronx somewhere, and one in Brooklyn. There was a couple of them, but the one in Manhattan gets the big play because it was, I think it was the biggest one. I think, but anyway, still, that's going to be the danger right there. So now, knowing that you might get replaced with AI, you're going to have to pivot. You're definitely going to have to pivot. You're going to have to come up with a way. You're going to have to put money away. You're going to have to store money away. You're going to have to store a ton of food away. Get out of the city and buy land because that's probably the only way you're going to survive. You will not survive in the city once AI gets done firing everyone. You could definitely, yeah, lease a tent, but you're going to be working on trade, right? You're going to be trading with people. What if you renting out your tent? I got a couple tents I could, you know, rent out. But anyway, now yes, hate all politicians. Nice one. Yes, it's happening, but it's happening at a slower rate. A lot of people seem to think this is going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen overnight unless the economy crashes. Then everything else is going to change exponentially fast. But if it doesn't, and they keep it afloat, we're going to be seeing this over centuries to come, decades to come. Sorry. Now, like I was talking about, we were talking about division before. I think, guys, they could manipulate division so bad that it could lead to a societal collapse. It could lead to the next civil war because they're going to keep going on with it. The crazy thing about this civil war is that it's going to be amongst many groups and not just two sides. It's not going to be versus the North and the South. It's going to be versus, I don't know, thousands of different groups warring it out and fighting it out with each other. Right? So the Civil War that, again, I said it in my videos, it's not going to be the Civil War we're thinking where it's like, two groups of people, the right versus the left, and you got some stupid kid fucking playing a flute in the fucking middle of the field while everybody else is shooting around them. It ain't going to look like that. It's going to be Civil War. You're going to have pockets of groups fighting all over the place, and each pocket of group, it'll be a different group they're fighting. Different militia groups, different left-wing groups, different right-wing groups. It's going to be fucking out of control, and because they're going to divide us so much, we'll be divided even in the battlefield. So that's always going to be an issue. That's always going to be a problem, the division, because they are counting on it to keep us divided. New civil war means Mad Max, yeah. And the craziness about it, guys, is that other countries are standing up and fighting for themselves for a lot less, like France. They're standing up for themselves for a lot less. We should be doing what they're doing right now. We should all be in D.C. right now causing havoc. We should be getting busy. That's all I can say. We should be getting busy. But we're not. We're sitting here comfortable talking about it isn't that bad. All right. Bobo World. So yeah, water is not a right. That actually came from the Coca-Cola CEO or the Dasani CEO, which is Coca Cola, but it was a Dasani guy. No, it was Coca Cola. Stated that water is not a right. It's not a privilege. It's a right. No, not a right. It's a privilege. Sorry. And he said that 10 years ago, 12 years ago now. He said that on the stage, and he said it so matter of factly. He sat there. He was like, he goes, water doesn't belong to you guys. It's not a right. It's a privilege. To the fact to the tune of you have to earn your right to drink water or something like that. I was like, what? And that was like a small part of what he said. Was there was more he said to it, but again, guys, imagine. Might have been no. It was Coca Cola. I'm pretty sure it was Coca Cola, or maybe it was Nestle. No, it was Coke. Whatever. You get my point. Um, somebody CEO made it that water wasn't a right, that we had to earn it. It was Nestle. All right, Christian and Adriana said it was Nestle. Nestle CEO. All right, so it was Nestle. Yeah. So anyway, again, chop it off. Chop what off? Shot. And that's the Nestle had the water fight. Yes. Okay. Joey, the unthinkable is what we're talking about. If you're late to the party, it's all of the shit that's going on and the things we can't see happening. That's the unthinkable. For example, starvation in this country. If you would have told me 10 years ago that they were trying to starve us out, that they were going to um, manipulate our food, I'd have been like, no fucking way. More than 10 years ago, rather. Sorry, like 15, 20 years ago. You would have told me this shit today, I'd have been like, this is not happening. And it is. But the unthinkable, guys, is the next pandemic. I think they're going to go that route. They're going to release something a hell of a lot more dangerous than Mr. 19. That's going to be the unthinkable. And what we see come out of that is going to be a nightmare. So, and again, this is just me putting all the pieces together, looking at certain things, reading what's going on, like what's going on in Sudan, right? What's going on in Sudan right now, which is not a big to do. I am releasing a video on it tomorrow morning. It's something we should be paying attention to because there's a laboratory in Sudan that was taken over by rebel fighters. They don't know which fighting party it was. My ass. But anyway, this lab has polio, cholera, measles at their disposal, and they don't know what they're going to do. So, with that being said, if they don't know what they're going to do, they're scared that they might release this. They might release this to their opposing party. They don't know. But again, my video will explain a little more tomorrow morning. But that's another thing. That story, guys, um, sounds like bullshit. It sounds like partial bullshit. I'm sorry. Not entire bullshit, but partial bullshit. I think they're gearing up for something with throwing this story out there in the media world. Um, and back to the whole AI supervirus, artificial intelligence supervirus. That's going to be something, guys. That could be the curveball. That could be something that's released in whatever country it gets released in, or just on the internet, and it infects every computer, every electronic device that's hooked up to the internet, and shuts it down, completely down. Then what do we do? I don't know why everybody thought that it was fucking in their best interest to hook everything up to the internet. I mean, everything's hooked up to the internet. Your little heart monitoring machine, your phone, your watch, you name it, it hooks up to it. Cameras, which I don't, my camera, I turn my wireless off. I keep my wireless off my camera. And that's just because I don't want anybody, hacking into the camera. There's no real pictures on it other than like flowers and shit, but I don't want anybody fucking hacking in the camera, so I keep that off as much as I can. And there's no need to have my internet on my cameras, right? Online subscriber, yeah. Start downloading. Start printing out what you can, guys. Start printing out as much as you can. Start buying books instead of ebooks. Some of you who watched my channel for years know that I'm a big fan of ebooks. But being that we have AI now, being that we have people attacking the electrical grid system, being that people are trying to send viruses out to infect your computer and or the internet, people are trying to shut the world down, we got to go back to books. Simple as that. Uh, you could back up your ebook, but I think it's better just to get books. And ebooks are good because yes, you can, or put them on a flash drive, a thumb drive. You can put all your books, your ebooks, on a thumb drive, and then you can carry them wherever you want. But books are a better bet because it's just there. You know, obviously books can burn, but if you have every book in ebook form as well, you can't lose, right? And then you back up the thumb drive. You come up with two. You keep one in one area. You keep one in your home. You know. But I like books better. I'm back to reading real books now. The since um since Amazon changed their Kindle format, I stopped reading. I stopped using their Kindles. It sucks. So I'm back to reading books now. Yeah, books can mold, but when was the last time you seen a moldy book? Like seriously, I haven't seen a moldy book in like a long time. And yes, the pages can also get dry, and they break off like dry leaves. That can happen too. But again, keep multiple sources. Keep books, keep thumb drives, put it on a hard drive if you still have one of those. Put it on one of these portable drives, right? Put it on something like this as well. Just have many sources, but books are great. Yeah, like I said, I've seen moldy books, guys, after flooding. I've never seen a moldy book just sitting on someone's shelves and it molds. That's like, I don't know. Like I said, I've never seen it before. Vienna Clark, Vivian Clark. That's what you can access your ebooks on your thumb drive. Your thumb drive's not going to be affected by the EMP. Um, well, yeah. Then again, your computers might be, but there's a lot of misconception with EMPs. And again, this is again from a scientist who did this shit. He's like, not everything electronic is going to shut down at once. Especially if you have like these casings around them that are rubber because it's no longer a metal base. If it's plugged in, it'll short. Your laptop will short. If it's plugged in, if it's not, it should be okay. How are you going to back it up? You have your fucking solar generators. Hopefully, they're protected, and then you won't have that problem. And if you do, you'll figure out a way how to get it off the thumb drive. Eventually, you will. Not everything's gonna, like I said, guys. Not everything's gonna be affected by it. Obviously top side. But if you have like a basement or some shit, and you got steel beams above you, you'll be okay. You're in a Faraday cage, right? A lot of buildings are built like Faraday cages, by the way, just because of all the metal that's surrounding them. So again, this is from a scientist who did this study years ago, and everybody thinks that an EMP goes off. Listen, you live in a house, an EMP goes off. Yes, without a doubt, anything that has a big metal base is going to die. Cars are out. TV sets are out because they're plugged in. If your laptop is plugged in, because most of us keep our laptops plugged in, that's going to die. The internet is gone. The internet's gone, not forever, but for a very, very long time. So, yeah, you could put your thumb drives in a fucking little metal box and be done with it. We don't have to overthink that. But this is why you keep books, because if everything was fried, you still got books to fall back on, right? Caribou's right. Caribou doesn't even matter. The panic is what's going to matter. If an EMP goes off, guys, and people like we'll realize that it's a power outage. We'll realize that it's an EMP. Now there is a smell that comes along with an EMP. That's the outlet in the walls. The wires will burn, so you're getting electrical smell. So if you get an electrical smell after there's a blackout, you undoubtedly know that this is an EMP attack. And then we move forward. We start doing what needs to be done. But If you don't know because you're a normie, you're going to sit there thinking this is just a regular blackout. Now, hopefully, somebody you know has a radio and you're listening to it as a normie and you're going, what's this EMP? What does that mean? And then they find out what an EMP is. They're going to flip the fuck out. These people are going to fucking carry on for fucking days. We're going to die. Oh my God, there's no food, there's no water. They're going to implode, those people. We'll be okay. Right? We'll be all right because we saw this coming. But everybody else, they're screwed, man. They're so screwed. Yeah, the normies would be done. They wouldn't know what to do. Some normies know preppers, and they were like, "Let's make it over to Jason's house and see what if he'll help us out." No, you know. Listen, by the time that happens, I won't be here. I'm not worried about it. Obviously, if I had friends and shit that wanted to come over, I'm like, you better bring food with you. You better bring food or fucking some kind of skill that I'm going to need while all of this shit's going down. Yes, that's the West Texas month. That's what the normies are going to be saying. They're going to be like, why is this happening? Someone said Canadian Prepper already covered this. Canadian Prepper also covered that we were going to die fucking 6 months ago and we're still here. So give it a break. Take his dick out of your mouth. Jesus. Anyway, with that, guys, there's just a lot of shit that's going to fucking start happening, and we need to be fucking prepared. We need to be as prepared as possible. There's so many unthinkable things that can happen too, like things I don't even think we can think of. No pun, like no pun intended. Like there are a lot of things we can't even think of that could happen, and they're curveball events that could happen. Like I try to think of every last thing that can possibly happen. Everything, guys, from a zombie attack to a meteor coming out of the sky to an alien attack to fucking angels falling out of the sky and attacking us, all kinds of shit. I think of every last scenario that we've ever entertained. The black goo, right? That shit. That's the nanobots that multiply so fast they turn into black goo. That's a theory that scientists actually have. I'm like, holy shit. I mean, when I read that, I was like, what the fuck? Seriously? Black goo? It's a real thing. It's a real thing. And these are things that we now with black goo. I don't think there's much we can do about that. Supposedly, that's like it's inescapable if that was to happen. Nanotechnology that gets out of control rebuilds itself so fast, so many times that it turns into this what looks like goo, and it just envelops the world over time. And they call it the black goo. You could look it up. Look up black goo. Project Bluebeam. I don't know. I don't know. Project Bluebeam is real, but I don't know. Some of the things with aliens don't make sense, and then some of it does make sense, right? Uh, no, Black Goo is not Lizzo. Black Goo, look it up. Just Google it. I'm like, when I read that, I was like, holy shit, that's some fucking Escape from Babylon. Yes, the stuff, but black, not white. It's an interesting theory. It's what it is. Just a theory. I'm not saying that it's gonna happen. I'm just saying that's a theory, and I entertain it all. Anything that could happen, I happen, and even have to take a step back sometime and goes, well, what could possibly be unthinkable? Well, it's the WEF sacrificing 30% of the population. That's unthinkable, but yet we see that it's going to happen, right? Graphene oxide. Yeah, the graphene oxide. They said it's in everything now. Someone said it's in paper napkins. I didn't see the video, but I heard about it. Gracie, no, that we have not agreed to that. No, I just poor man. I just said Google it. I didn't say sit there and take 1,000 guesses. Google black goo or gray goo. Sorry, look up black goo or gray goo. My bad. Um, look up both of those, but don't sit here and start giving me 1,000 guesses. Well, what do you mean by that? It's called gray. Let's see. Let's look up gray goo. So it's Grey Goose. Sorry, guys, it's not black. It's gray. It's not Grey Goose. Grey Goo. So Grey Goo is a hypothetical global catastrophe scenario involving molecular nanotechnology in which out of control self replicating machines consume all biomass on Earth while building many more of themselves. So, in theory, that they to energize themselves, to replicate, they use our bodies to do so. So they would essentially be eating us alive. Don't know what pace it would happen, but yeah, the scenario has been called eco ecophagy, ecophagy. No shit. So so they actually have a scientific name called ecophagy or ecophagy, and it's called gray goo, not black. I'm sorry. I kept saying black, and as I'm saying black goo, I'm like, that doesn't sound right. And every time I said it, it sounded wrong, wrong, wrong. And it's gray goo. So it's a nanotechnology thing, guys. Again, now if that was to happen, that's sort of like a black hole, but worse. Because at least with a black hole, you wouldn't feel it. At least that's what they keep telling us. We wouldn't feel it if we were close enough to a black hole and we got sucked in. We'd all be dead before we actually got to the horizon. Gray goo, on the other hand, we would absolutely feel every bit of that. Right? Do I think we're going to get invaded? I don't know. Listen, guys, I can't sit here and promise you like other YouTubers are promising. YouTubers are promising people and going, I promise you this is going to happen. Like I might have done that in a couple of my videos, and I apologize for that because I don't know anymore. I don't know what the fuck's going to happen. You know, um, no way to prep for. Joe FW, there is no way to prep for black goo. There really isn't. It's only yeah, man. It's like it's you're just going to die. Again, it's like going into a black hole. Like there's no escaping a black hole. There's no escaping gray goo. Sorry, I said it again. Black goo. There's no escaping gray goo. That's one of the scenarios where there's no escaping. Gray goo, asteroid the size of Texas, alien attack if that's real, and a black hole. Those things you cannot escape. Right? Alien attack is a fighting chance, but black hole, gray goo, and a fucking meteor smashing into this planet, there's no escaping those. You're just gonna die. What about white goo? I don't know. And I don't like gray goose. Tinfoil tiara. All BS. It could be BS, it could be real. That's the problem, tinfoil tiara. Everybody thought that a pandemic like we saw with COVID was going to be BS, that it was never going to happen. And what happened? They manufactured some shit and it didn't wind up happening, right? For everybody who in the prepper community that says this is never going to happen, you got to be a complete asshole because we're watching things happen that we thought would never happen. So now everything's on the table. Everything. All of it's on the table. Alien attack, fucking zombies, gray goo, you name it. It's all on the table. Because there is no such thing as it'll never happen. Now, there are a lot of things in this world that'll never happen, like $1 million or dating Jennifer Aniston. Those things are never going to happen. But outside of destruction and catastrophe, it's all on the table, man. And that's the thing, all of it. What and again, we just don't know. I wish I could sit here and tell you guys, exactly what's going to happen. We don't fucking know, and that's it. Chat GPT-12 will release Grey Goo. Shit, we even get that far. No escaping the ragu. Yeah, I used to like ragu, tomato sauce, spaghetti sauce, and then I started making my own. I'm like, fuck ragu. Ragu's for fucking wimps. It's for fucking pussies who don't know how to cook. I refuse to use that now. I use tomato sauce, like true tomato sauce, and I doctor my own up. Prepping the prepping artist. Today's Thursday, but yes, we're all gonna die Wednesday. Was last night on Hudson Valley Prepping Survivals show. Bubble World. Yes, Alec Jones apparently has all the answers. He's like never wrong. Got to be careful. Somebody like him. Always got to be careful. I'm not a big fan of Alex Jones. Ragu's for non-cooks. Thank you, West Texas Mud. Exactly. You break out a can of Wagyu or Prego, dude, you should be beaten within an inch of your life. No fucking self-respecting cook is going to use Ragu, and I'm pretty sure my mother's not watching this, but we were raised on Ragu. And when I became a fireman and we started making spaghetti sauce, one guy bought in jars of Ragu, and the fucking fire. And I wasn't there for this. I think I just missed it by a couple of months. The fucking firehouse flipped out when he bought in Ragu. Like, you have to bring in a night meal to the firehouse. He bought Ragu, and it was all fucking. It was all hell broke loose in the firehouse. I heard the story. I couldn't stop laughing. I still laugh to this day. I think it was funny. It's funny. I think grown men fucking reacting that way to Ragu is bad. But now, 20 years later, I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't have done Ragu anymore or Prego. Yeah. Listen, if you can't cook, then that's your go-to. Then it is. But everybody should learn how to listen. When the apocalypse is on, guys, you're gonna have to make your own spaghetti sauce. You can't. There won't be any more Ragus or Prego. You're gonna have to make up your own. Joey Alvarez. They did the unthinkable. They fired Tucker Carlson. Yeah. Listen, I thought that was a weird one, and everybody's starting. All the conspiracy theories are starting to come out now. As soon as he got fired, they were like, "Oh, you know why he got fired? He was having sex with his interns." Like all of the fucking shit's coming out now. I'm like, my God, guys, let the man fucking breathe for like a second or two, you know, and then see what happens. And see what he says. And he's going to tell us what happens, whether it's in the next 2 weeks or the next 2 years. Eventually, what him getting fired and why he got fired will come out. We just got to wait. CH, no, C Cheech or CCH. Your ball breaking is lame tonight. You got to reset and come back a little harder, man. Sound like a pussy tonight. And you're like you're recycling your jokes. There's nothing more annoying than if you're gonna break my balls, break my balls. Don't recycle your jokes. You just look like a herb doing that. That's whack. And yes, I'm bringing that back. I'm bringing Herb back. But yeah, it's I don't know, guys. It's all falling apart. And again, either we fight for it or we stand by and we watch it, or we do what a lot of people are doing: buy land and disappear out into the fucking the woods. You know. But I don't know, man. I don't, again, to sit here and try to figure out exactly what's going to happen, you're going to break your brain. You're going to break your brain trying to figure out how this is all going to end or how the end is going to start. We can't do that. Um, there's so many things going on. All we could do is pay attention to what's going on, and then that's it, man. Sitting there and if this is going to happen this way. Lance Corporal Veteran, thank you for the donation and thank you for your service. I appreciate it. And I'm assuming you served because it's Lance Corporal Veteran. I don't know anybody. I don't know anybody who's going to take that tag and didn't serve. What's flooding? Somebody said yeah, and they did mention it's flooding. What's flooding? Oh, another train derailment. That's the thing, guys. So the whole smart city or 15-minute cities, they keep poisoning the land. The government could deem the land unlivable and usher everybody into wherever the fuck they want to usher them to. Right now, they're going to be moving people to other towns. But when they start really infecting the land, when they start really toxifying the land with their bullshit, they're going to tell these people, for example, in Ohio, they'll be like, listen, you have a choice. You could move to these cities, they're 15-minute cities, or you could do it on your own and you could find somewhere else to live. Now, when you put people's back against the wall, they're going to sit there and go, well, I'll do the 15-minute city. Now, if you live in an area like East Palestine or an area like that, you don't want to go to the city. But if they're offering you free move to a 15-minute city or a smart city, you're gonna bite. You're gonna bite and you're gonna move, and that's what they're gonna fucking do. They're going to sit there and keep poisoning the land until they can get everybody consolidated into fucking little spots called smart cities or 15-minute cities. Now, 15-minute cities and smart cities are two different things. They will be one and the same down the line, um, and they're going to be called something else. So right now they're calling 15-minute cities. I said before, Paris is working on becoming a 15-minute city. New York is working on becoming a smart city. Yeah, the difference between the two is that a 15-minute city allows you to live within 15 minutes of your work, entertainment, hospital, dentist, whatever it is. You're 15 minutes away by bicycle and or on foot. 15-minute cities. Smart cities are cities that are completely integrated into the internet. So everything you do and everywhere you go is accounted for. You go to the supermarket like they do in China now. You go in a supermarket, you show your face in this thing, and you make payment via your face or your eyes. That's a smart city. And everything you do is recorded. And everywhere you go is evaluated. Right? So everywhere you go is recorded. Everything you do, is evaluated. And that's how they're going to get people into these smart cities or 15-minute cities. There are people like, I like to live 15 minutes from my work. Yeah, you're a fucking slave. You know, that's what slaves did, guys. They rolled out of bed and they fucking boom, they were right to work. Almost any slave civilization or slave era, slaves lived right next to their jobs. Almost all of them. So 15-minute cities are in hindsight, or not in hindsight, but are actuality, in all actuality, they're slave cities. They're meant for you to stay in a certain area to, by the way, 15-minute cities, to keep your carbon footprint down so that your carbon footprint isn't too high. A 15-minute city, what they're trying to get to is that you can't go outside of that 15 minutes. So if you happen to work a job that's 16, 17 minutes out, you have to get special authorization to do so. Somebody says, I want to live in a smart city. No, you don't. Do not want to live in a smart city. Smart city is like a 15-minute city. It's like having a fucking collar around your neck, and everywhere you go, they know where you are. Right? No matter where you go, there you are. Remember that line? If let's see if anybody can figure that one out. But yeah, you don't want to live in a smart city. You definitely don't want to live in a 15-minute city. Again, guys, that's all part of slavery. That's keeping you confined to one spot, keeping you all trackable in one area. Right? But the Brady Bunch. No, not the Brady Bunch. But smartest in a dumb city. ESG. Yes, thank you for bringing it up. I got to do ESG. And yes, geofencing is going to be a thing with the 15-minute cities because, again, they don't want you going further than you have to because they want to make sure that your carbon footprint is low. Now, if you have to walk 20 minutes somewhere, they're okay with that. But as far as using an electric bike or a car, which in 15-minute cities, there will be no cars. There will be no vehicles other than emergency vehicles or politicians. Go figure that one out. Imagine politicians still having a right to drive their cars and or have drivers for them, and emergency vehicles are going to be the only vehicles in the city. Everything else is going to be e-bikes or e-scooters. Again, guys, do what they say and not what they do. That's called slavery, right? Massa Boss told us we have to hop, skip, and a jump on our e-bikes. Massa wants us to tap dance now too. And then people who live in 15-minute cities will tap dance. They'll be sucking Massa Boss's dick because that's what they want. Smart cities, forget it. Everywhere you go, you're gonna be tracked. And smart cities will become 15-minute cities, or 15-minute cities will be using smart city technology. Sorry, you know. But yeah, man, it's gonna get bad. It's gonna get bad, and people seemingly thinking, "Oh, it'll be okay, man. It's fine. I don't mind walking to work." Yeah, okay, keep it up. American Plantation. Susan Morse. Yes, it'll be American Plantation. You won't have a regular job. You'll be coding or some shit. You'll go to a computer and you'll start typing numbers and shit in just because, you know. But people don't realize that, man. People don't like. Let's first of all, a lot of jobs are going to be done with. So I don't know. They're going to keep you alive in 15-minute cities, but you just have to abide by their rules. You have to play ball. That's going to be the problem with 15-minute cities or smart cities. You got to play by their rules. This is why they're poisoning the land, because they don't want free thinkers out in the world. They don't want free thinkers out in the country doing their own shit. They want everybody to be trackable in a certain spot. Devil Dog Prepper, do you honestly think this will happen? Devil Dog Prepper, what? Okay, what part? I'm sorry, I said so much. I don't know. Do I think the 15-minute city? Yes. Paris is working on it right now. They said they have a 2030 plan. Uh, Seattle also, they have a 2030 plan as well to get their 15-minute city up and running. So the plans are out there. They're implementing it. The World Economic Forum, if you go on the World Economic Forum's website, they actually have an article that says 15-minute city versus smart city. It's something you should entertain and read. Guys, the game plan is on the World Economic Forum's website. Go there. Read this shit. See how they're going to fuck us in the ass. They have it out there for us to read. They have the game plan, guys. Or die homeless. Yeah, Caribou, you play the game or you die homeless. That's how it's normally how it goes. And they're gonna get a lot of people that way. Adriana said two cities in her country, Colombia, are part of the C40 cities. The C40 cities, is that like a 15-minute city or smart city? Sorry, I'm trying to look if uh, Devil Dog Preppers responded, and he didn't. I don't think he did. Oh, Star Fury said, "Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai. No matter where you go, there you are." Uh, Mad Max. I was thinking of Mad Max when the pig killer said that, and then they dropped the fucking sled on a little dude, and the kids came sliding down the slide or the pig feet or whatever it was. Yeah, but it was Mad Max. Everybody loses anyway. To Cambridge. And well, all right. So anyway, guys, with that, we got 2 minutes. We're gonna go off the air in a couple minutes. We're gonna head over. Some of us are gonna head over to the Angry Truth channel. The rest of you, uh, yes, Devil Dog. The 15-minute cities are happening, without a doubt. Like I said, certain cities are trying to convert to Siege. Thank you for the donation. Do you think Elon Musk is a white hat? Siege. If I'm saying your name wrong, CCH. Do I think he's a white hat? Like a savior? No, I don't trust Elon Musk at all. I don't trust him for one bit. Did you see the movie Elysium? LAPD SWAT 1. Yes, I did. Listen, I'm curious as to how they're going to build something so big out in space. You know the amount of metal it would take to create that? Like I am so curious as how they would create that environment. But yes, I did see Elysium, and thank you for the donation. And Seach or CCH, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. 15-minute cities will be ghettos. Not a good place for me. I'll take the alternative. 15-minute cities will not be the ghetto. Nobody. They won't be the ghetto because of one reason and one reason only. Um, you're going to be monitored in 15-minute cities, like smart cities. You're going to be monitored. You're going to be told what to do, how to act, what not to act. Like China. China has a smart city slash 15-minute city. They call it something else. That's exactly how it's going to run here. So there will be no ghettos here. Either you act accordingly or you're out. Colleen, thank you for that. Colleen says, great fitness video earlier today. Uh, Thank you for that. Appreciate it. If you join 15-minute city, you will have spam all day. Nope, champ. Sorry. You joined the 15-minute city. You're not eating meat. You're eating bugs. So you're not eating spam. Womp womp. So sorry. Yeah, they won't serve you spam. 15-minute cities to serve you bugs. Z bugs and Z fake meats. Which again, they're having a problem with their fake meat bullshit, which is a good thing. Who's going to enforce it? Sindis, if I said it right, they're going to have a police force that will enforce it. Simple, man. In China, they don't fuck around. See, here's the thing with enforcement. I'm going to go a little over. Here's the thing with enforcement, guys. They're going to enforce it because they're going to make sure that if you don't apply to their rules, your social credit scoring system is going to come down. And if your social credit scoring system comes out, it's going to allow you, or it's not going to allow you to do a lot of things. So it's going to keep a lot of people in check. Now, there are those of us who probably won't give a fuck. And yes, we might live in those ghetto-esque areas, but then those are areas that we created because we left the 15-minute cities to create whatever else it is. And if I'm leaving a 15-minute city, I'm living on the land, I'm not going to have a ghetto. Shit's going to be in check. Now, yes, some people seem to think, and yeah, you know what, you guys might be right. There might be ghettos. You know what, I'm wrong because because even in China, they're ghettos. And though they're not bad like here, they still have ghettos out there, and they have the social credit scoring system. So you guys are right. There will be ghettos, but I don't think it will be bad like riddled with violence and shit like that. You know what I mean? And yes, they will lock down your CBDC. They'll lock down your access to money. They'll lock down your access to go food shopping, go to the movies, buy clothes, buy the latest game if you're a gamer. They have control over all of that. Now, on the Angry Truth channel tonight, we're going to talk about all of that in regards to FedNow and the CBDC, and something I just learned today. That is a great possibility of happening. Anyway, guys, with that being said, I'm going to head over to the Angry Truth channel. For those of you that follow me over there, I do appreciate it. Thank you for the donations tonight. Also, I will see you guys next Tuesday, as per usual. And yeah, see you guys next week. If I can figure this shit out. All right, so this thing